Hey guys, welcome back to Array of Life. I'm Rachel. I'm the mom of this chaos. Anyways, Kolton just turned 6 months and I asked for suggestions on videos, and one of my friends from school said, well, when I went to school, she said you should share Kolton's birth story. Shout out to Debbie. Anyways, and I thought that was like such a great idea since he's 6 months and I can talk about what it was like having this little man. So stay tuned. July 15th, 2019. He was 8 pounds, 15 ounces, and 20 inches long.
A big boy. Say, I was a big boy. Yes, I was a big boy.
It was an amazing experience. The hospital I had him at locally just did a phenomenal job, and it was the first day I met my OB. I had so many emotions. I was worried about a spinal. So many things going through my head, making sure he's gonna breathe when he gets out. And the reason I had so many worries was because when I was pregnant with him, at 22 weeks I found out I had a chorioangioma in my placenta, which is a tumor, and it got about the size of my fist. And I am a sonographer and I got my license in OBGYN, so I know sometimes a little too much what can happen when you're pregnant, and there's a lot of things that can go wrong. So at 22 weeks I was diagnosed and I got into a high-risk doctor in Loma Linda, and he was amazing and helped me through every step of the way, along with a couple of my very dear friends that kept an eye on him as well. You know who you are. So I had 2 or 3 NST, which is a stress test, a week, and 1 ultrasound. They monitored the top of his head to make sure he was getting enough blood to his head, making sure he doesn't become anemic, because this tumor tries to basically suck the blood from the baby, and so it can cause the baby for his heart to stop. You can have increased fluid, which is called AFI, amniotic fluid, and the baby can stop growing, and it's called IUGR, intrauterine growth restriction. So I really just wanted him to be born as soon as possible, because with all these appointments 4 times a week, I was just really losing my mind, and I had to give it to God and just pray that he was going to come out a strong boy. And July 15th, all my prayers were answered. He came out strong, big, healthy boy. When I went in that morning, I got there at, I think, 5 a.m. and they got me ready, and they told me I was gonna be good to go. And watching the clock, every 30 minutes someone coming in and saying, oh, it's postponed because we have an emergency, which I totally understand. I've been one of those emergency C-sections before. So it took probably 20 minutes. I was back in the OR and they did my spinal. I laid down on this warm bed, which was amazing. And then from like here down, everything started going numb, and I was freaking out. I was freaking out because I don't like to, like anytime I lose feeling or of my senses or eyes dilated, I just freak, and I have a history of fainting, so that's even better. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. My husband was able to come in after I was laid down on the bed, and thank God, because I was looking to the left and there was like all these glass doors with, you know, sterile things in them, and I could see the reflection, so I could see all these doctors in front of me. I could see like every instrument that was being brought to the OB, and I could see the tape on me, and I was kind of melting down inside. So when I saw my husband, he came in, he sat next to me, and he said, "So when this baby's born, what are you ready to drink?" And I was like, a michelada, but I cannot believe we're talking about this when our baby's making his debut. Like, that I will not forget. That was his way to keep me sidetracked. And I mean, it worked for a little bit, and then I started saying the pushing, like it's so intense because they were trying to push him out after they made the incision, and I don't remember it being like that. So he just kept, my husband was so amazing, he kept talking me through, everything's gonna be okay. And then I heard them ask which one of the parents is gonna hold him first. And I didn't know that it was gonna be an option for me, because most doctors usually, it's sterile, so they don't want to put the baby next to you. And I heard my husband tell one of the nurses that was with us, he said, if they can do skin to skin first, you know, please do that. And so I got so excited. So they're keep pushing, and literally probably 5 minutes, this boy was out. He made his arrival at 4:12, screaming bloody murder. And they dropped this drape in front of me, and it had clear plastic, and he was brought up to me, and at that time they were bringing like the screen in front of me. He peed, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, he's peeing." It was hilarious. And so they cleaned him up, and they brought him over, and they laid him on my chest, and at that very moment, I think I had about 1,000,000 bricks lift off my chest, knowing that my baby boy is okay. And he was breathing, and his heart was beating, and his eyes were open, and he was staring at mama. And totally fell in love, and it was a great experience. And so they let him lay on me while they were starting to close me up, and it took about an hour for them to close me up, and so they ended up taking him to my recovery room with my husband. And it worked out really good because my daughter was in there and with my parents and my brother, and so when they wheeled him in, they were actually in the recovery room, so they got to see him right away, and she got to hold him and give him all the love. I totally missed out on seeing that for the first time, because that's something I've always wanted to see, was her wish come true. Something that she's prayed for a very long time was to have a sibling, and she got her little brother, Kolton. And so I was able to get wheeled in, and Kolton was in the room with his dad and a few nurses getting all cleaned up, and I was able to breastfeed instantly. And we waited in the recovery room for a few hours, and then I went down to like the postpartum and got settled in there. And this boy did not want to be put down in no little bassinet thing. He just wanted to be held, and I was totally okay with it. Except when it was going on the second night, and he wanted, yes, he's letting you know, he doesn't like to be put down. And he wanted to stay up. And so, you know, nowadays the nurses don't take babies to nurseries, they stay with the families, which I think is amazing. However, sometimes you're a little tired, and we had this amazing nurse, and she took him for a couple hours the second night, I believe, and we were able to sleep a few hours, but we were ready to come home. But I had to get up and start walking, and for some reason I felt like my recovery was different this time around. With my C-section, it wasn't as easy, I think because I'm, well, 12 years older, so it was a little bit harder on me, but I pushed myself, and we came home, and everything's been pretty amazing adding this little man to our family. So he's 6 months old, and we've had lots of changes, but he's slept through the night for the majority. The last month hasn't been as good, but he was sleeping through the night at 1 month, which is, I mean, I feel very blessed that I was able to sleep. And nursing has been really good. I have a huge stash of milk built up, and I will do another video to tell you how I did that, how I went about doing that, what pump I used, and I also will do another video of all the newborn must-haves. So anyways, I just wanted to share with you guys Kolton's birth story because he's so special to our family. We just love him, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you.